How do you scale your subscription business as quickly as possible? By connecting with leaders who have already done it themselves. That's what we're going to talk about on this episode. I'm Robert Skrob, and this is the show that helps your membership or subscription business to be unleavable. You have the opportunity to connect with the leaders of the largest subscription brands in the world, and me, because we're all going to be at the subscription show November 9th and 10th in New York City with some pre-conference workshops on November 8th. I absolutely encourage you to be there. You can get more information at subscriptionshow.com. And to get some insight into what is Subscription Show and whether or not it's appropriate for you and maybe who from your team should be there, that I had the opportunity to connect with Kathy Sexton, who is the publisher of Subscription Insider and the producer of Subscription Show. We are here with Kathy Sexton, the publisher of Subscription Insider. And Kathy, you've got a subscription show coming up. I'm so excited. Thank you for having me be a speaker and a featured workshop presenter.
Robert, I am so excited you're going to be participating in this year's subscription show. We've been running this for several years, and you've been a great part of it every year, just lending your expertise and your humor and all that you bring with all things retention and expertise on subscriptions. So we are so excited. I cannot wait to see you in person in November in New York.
It has become our annual reunion, except for a little break during COVID. But otherwise, thank you for that opportunity. So somebody who has not been to Subscription Show and like, what the heck is this, and why should I be there? What is the value that they're going to get by attending Subscription Show?
Robert, that's a really great question. Subscription Show, it is Subscription Insider's annual conference, and it's designed for subscription executives who want to understand the latest best practices, understand the latest trends and issues that they're going to really need to navigate over the next 12 and 18 months. So we cover everything from a strategic level. We dive into tracks that are focused on recurring payments, focused on marketing and retention, focused on product and strategy issues. And we have an exhibit hall full of subscription focused vendors who you can talk to all in one place, who are really the leaders in subscription management, the leaders in all sorts of different areas that different subscription businesses need. Now, for anybody that wants to attend, you'll be rubbing elbows with all sorts of subscription companies, the leaders across media, publishing, streaming, memberships, direct to consumer, consumer services box. We have amazing leaders in subscriptions that will be presenting, who will be attending, and it's just a really great chance to also connect with our community, which is so important after our pandemic and with people working from home. So you'll be able to really talk to not only you and other experts, but others and peers across the industry as we tackle what is coming down the pike and really addressing all of that.
And certainly having the opportunity to speak with me would make subscription so well worth
Absolutely.
it on its own. And I think that the thing that is really unique and most valuable about Subscription Show is that it brings together all the different areas of subscription. There is, as you mentioned, there's SaaS, there's streaming, there's publishers,
Mm-hmm.
there's a bunch of different silos within the subscription business that in some cases have some events that they might go to, or there might be individuals that they pay attention to within those silos. And at Subscription Show, we bring those silos together because we have a lot more in common than we really have separate, because the subscriber relationship to the subscription company is the same along all those silos. That the relationship really doesn't care what's delivered, whether it's a software or a subscription box or a digital online publication. And being an expert in that relationship enables you to scale a subscription business no matter what you are delivering. And that's really what we focus on at the subscription show. And you've mentioned a few of the verticals that are going to be at subscription show. Among the speakers and some of the attendees, maybe past companies that have been involved and expect to be involved in the future, what are some of the types of subscription companies that are going to be engaged that you'll have the opportunity to meet at the subscription show?
Well, focusing on speakers, we have the CEO of The Atlantic, who used to be the editor in chief of Wired, Nicholas Thompson, who is going to be kicking off the subscription show. And I wanted him to kick things off because he is known for really seeing what the market trends are and its impact on businesses. So he's going to be really taking that deep expertise in and his amazing ability to kind of cut through the noise and see what really matters and focusing it on recurring revenue businesses to help us really understand what to focus on, what not to, and really begin to think and apply that strategically in our business. We have the Boston Consulting Group presenting monetization trends and what's changed and what people need to understand. We're presenting research from FlexPay and payments.com on the ROI. This is going to sound totally geeky, but it's the ROI of doing things right and best practices in your operations. So you have said when you're running and operating a recurring business at scale, the good companies, the companies that are scaling and performing year over year, they're integrated, they're working well across teams, they know the right KPIs, they know all the different points where they're losing money, where they're leaking customers, all these different things. And every single point, it has an opportunity to make money or lose money. And this research, which I am so excited to see, is really going to be examining the ROI of that. And if anybody wanted, your board's like, well, why should we change X, Y, or Z? It's like, well, because we could get a 20% ROI on this investment if we do, one thing versus another. And as you know,
Mhm.
Robert, running and operating a subscription business, it takes a lot of details, and it's why pure e-commerce businesses, when they try and start the recurring revenue side of a business, many of them fail or they don't achieve their goals as they thought they would because they don't understand those fundamental differences. So I just talked about some keynotes, but we have um, American Express and Visa coming. This is a
Mhm.
unique thing to subscription show and one of the unique
Massively important.
places that a subscription company, a subscription merchant, as they would call all of us, to really talk directly and hear directly from them about what they offer and what they can support. I mean, it's way beyond account updater. They have so many tools and services and many issues that we need to kind of understand from their end. And then many of us on the payment side go through payment processors who will be presenting on another panel on how to improve your acceptance rates on it, your initial auth or your recurring auths. And I know I'm getting really geeky, but these are where money is made and money is lost. You
Mhm.
you go over to marketing, we're going to be talking about pricing and how to raise prices. We've got some amazing sessions there. We have which one won? So we're going to be looking at user experience and looking at testing, which is so hard for companies, and really examining what worked and what didn't so people can take specific questions, specific tests, and see if they can apply them in your business. We have a session for product teams, and I'm just pulling some different examples here, and this is like
Yeah.
some of 40, 50 plus sessions, where Diane Pearson is going to be talking about black swans. And black swans, you might be asking, what the heck are they? Well, a black swan is a term for the unexpected, and we've certainly had a lot of unexpectedness over the last few years. And there's
Hmm.
predictions of headwinds of recession and other things. And so she's going to really presenting how to manage those so there's less of an impact for product and revenue. So I'm diving into
I
details
love
here,
that.
but we have a lot of content for the leaders of subscriptions businesses. We have lots of content for the financial side, for the marketing retention side, as well as the product side. And we it's our mission that anybody who does attend will leave with actionable information that they can use to improve results when they get back into the office.
And one of the things about that all-star lineup that I've heard folks say, they're like, man, when I saw that, the founder of Wired and current publisher of the Atlantic and the BCG was speaking, and that Visa was going to be there, and it really felt like, what would those big companies be able to teach me in my little subscription business? It's a couple of million or 20 million or 50 million, and those are multi-billion dollar companies or $100 million companies. That seems so far away from me. What could they teach me? And the reality is it can greatly expand your understanding of even the business that you are in and the opportunity that you have in order to scale what you are doing by looking and benchmarking those companies, and most importantly, being able to hear how the leader of $100 million publisher subscription business solves problems. It's very different how they approach those problems than somebody who is a startup or somebody who's kind of hit that $5 million growth plateau, or even somebody who's hit the $25 million growth plateau and is trying to break through. And by putting yourself into a room with plenty of subscription startups, plenty of subscription businesses at all ranges of revenue, together with the individuals who have and are leading some of the biggest subscription brands in the world, it helps you think completely differently about your business and see problems in a different way that helps you solve them and scale to those levels that maybe you didn't imagine before. The other thing I think is really powerful at Subscription Show is the vendor area. And we're each get into our own business and we put our head down, and I know you get as many spam messages as I do. This morning I was offered a website, I was offered some SEO, I was offered some social media services, all in my inbox before I was able to find the email that had the link for our recording today. And yet within the vendor show at Subscription Show, these vendors each could be a very big breakthrough for you and your business, that they offer services that maybe you didn't even know existed, ways of collecting payments that have failed that maybe you weren't aware of, that can have a significant impact, not just on your revenue by recovering the payment this month, but by recovering the payment for future months as well. uh, Kathy, with some of the vendors and such in Subscription Show, who are the people that folks just should make sure that they go around and see as part of the event?
Robert, that's a really, really good question. And to your other point, there's companies that are really, really large, and there's companies that aspire to have that level of growth. The problems are the same. You still need to look at a lot of the metrics and think about things in the same way, but your stage of business is going to be influencing how you solve that problem. As an entrepreneur, you've got the benefit of not having to work through bureaucracies and lots of teams. And if you're a larger company, you've got the benefit perhaps of more resources. But the problems and the issues are going to be the same. How you solve them might be different, and you'll be able to learn and get ideas from the speakers and from your peers at Subscription Show as we walk through all these different types of challenges and opportunities we're all facing right now. The vendor area, the exhibit hall is one of my favorite areas. We have some very leading platforms that you should be aware of. And one of the things about technology in the subscription ecosystem, if you will, many people have a solution and they think that is what the solution is and are unaware that there are other opportunities to improve your business, maybe even without changing whatever core solution you have. There's solutions for recovering dead payments. There's solutions for fraud and chargeback. There's solutions for business intelligence specifically focused on recurring revenue and subscriptions. There's solutions specifically for global payment processing. There's solutions for using multiple types of processors if that's something that your business needs. There's solutions for subscription management and billing. There's solutions for marketing. We have a lot of different types of expertise in the hall, and it's a great opportunity if you're not buying something right now, even just to go in and get educated, because these vendors that are in the exhibit hall really are the best in the business, and to really understand who is there, who the players are, and really begin to start your process of getting educated about your technology stack and what you need now and in the future is an important part of running and operating a subscription business.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Kathy, because as your subscription business scales, you're going to be replacing at least pieces of your technology
Yeah.
stack. The tech stack of a startup or even a $25 million subscription business is very different than a $100 million and larger subscription business. And it's just the cost, right? The cost to a startup to try to have the scale of $100 million tech stack just isn't really accessible. And so you piece things together and you put things in the best way you can, and then as you grow, you encounter new challenges or opportunities, and you want to incorporate those. So as this is a great opportunity to see those pieces so that you can act fast when it's time because you've run into some of these limitations. For somebody who's interested in getting more information and registering for Subscription Show, what should they do? How should they visit? What can they do to get more information?
Well, you can go to subscriptionshow.com, and at subscriptionshow.com, you will see an overview of the program, the detailed agenda. The register now has options for tickets. You can register for in person in New York and streaming. So if you cannot get to New York, you can watch the live broadcast and view it on demand afterwards. And I also would like to talk about the boot camps. Can I talk about that for a second, Robert?
Oh, please, yeah.
So, subscription show, it's November 9 and 10. We start right in the morning for breakfast and networking at 8. We have keynotes, we have networking, we have breakout sessions, and we end at 7 p.m. after our networking party on Wednesday and Thursday, November 9 and 10. On November 8th, this is Tuesday, we are hosting some pre conference boot camps. We have four of them. Robert is hosting and running the one focused on retention. We have, to give everybody an overview of everything, we have subscription regulation. It's kind of like going to the dentist, everybody. You need to understand deeply what regulations you need to be focused on, because the FTC is really focused on compliance these days, as well as across the states and even globally with some privacy regulation as well. So we have a whole boot camp focus on the fundamentals of subscription regulation. That's boot camp number one. Boot camp number two, powering your payments. So recurring payments are unique. How you manage them, how you track them, how you don't lose your shirt on retrying and being in a wrong merchant category code. There's a lot of details that you could get right, and there's a lot of details you can get wrong. And so our boot camp focused on powering your payments is boot camp number two. Boot camp number three is focused specifically for our direct to consumer businesses on the back end operational fundamentals you need to understand to really scale your direct to consumer business. And I'm very excited about that. So that's boot camp number three. And boot camp number four is the heart of every subscription business. It's getting your retention right. And we're so excited, Robert, you're going to be leading that boot camp.
And last time we had that retention boot camp was 2019,
2019, yes.
and we had standing room only.
Yep.
And folks were a little cranky that we didn't have a bigger room, but you know what? We got it done, and it was a great event. But you want to make sure that you get registered for that for all your workshops, and bring the right people on your team, and make it an event. And it's, of course, in New York City at a great location that we. And so I absolutely encourage you to be there. Check out subscriptionshow.com. And Kathy, thank you so much for being on Be Unleavable Subscription Growth. And I can't wait to see you at the subscription show.
Thank you so much for having me. And I can't wait to see you. And I can't wait to see everybody else at Subscription Show. And I look forward to seeing everybody in person.
Sounds awesome. Thank you.